Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome. What's up, guys? Sorry, I think I just blew our guests' ears out. Sorry, guys. Welcome. Happy TGIF. You guys don't know this, but in my previous life, I was a WWE announcer. So it's just kind of one of those things where you don't really, it's I tell people this all the time. They have, what's the word? Dormant. We have everybody has like these dormant skills or abilities that until these opportunities present themselves, you don't really know. And so I didn't know about the announcement thing until I, started podcasting. I was like, oh, hey, I could do this.
I need to know something very specific though. Like in this previous life with the WWE, were you like one of the bikini girls or were you still Jesse wearing a Borat suit?
It was the Borat, yeah. It was the Borat, not the suit, but the the mankini.
Mankini, excuse me. Suit, mankini, same difference.
Speaking of mankini, guys, we're gonna have fun today. I will just say that we have some amazing guests coming on, and I think we'll just keep it at that. Thank you guys for being here. Derek Whitten, what's up, baby boy? Let's go. Vegas, yes. Let me know in the comments, guys, who is going to Viva Las Vegas. We are going to have a killer time. For those of you guys who don't know, I don't know anybody who, doesn't know this yet, but there is something special going on in Las Vegas, June 13th through the 15th. 13th, 14th, and 15th, guys. Viva Las Vegas. You guys cannot afford to not be there. I'm really excited for this. Those of you guys who don't know, I think everybody knows at this point. But if you don't know, we are running a mastermind in Las Vegas. But this isn't just any mastermind. Oh, no. This is for individuals that are seriously wanting to step out, bypass the entire wholesaling game. There's this big misconception that a lot of people fall into, including myself. That's how I know about it, is because my own personal experience. And then I saw a lot of parallel experiences with that of my own. And it was this. I got into real estate because I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad when I was in high school. And that then planted the seed. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've been thinking about money completely different. I've been thinking about wealth completely different. I have been thinking about debt and risk and opportunity completely different. So then most of us jump into real estate. We jump into real estate thinking, man, I'm going to own some properties. I'm going to get some cash flow. It's going to be 1, 2, 3 Lamborghini, as Carlin likes to put it.
Coin,
TM. And it's not that. You get in there and everybody's like, well, Jesse, you don't have resources. Jesse, you don't have any knowledge. Jesse, you don't have any connections. Jesse, you don't have money. And so inadvertently, everybody starts to tell you, well, in order to get all this, what you need to do is you need to start out wholesaling. Then in order to do that, before you can start out wholesaling, you got to get some leads. So Jesse, you're going to have to call. So you either need to go door knocking, you need to get a list, or go make calls for somebody else. Because in this business, you either have time or you have money. That's it. Is anybody else, let me know in the comments, has anybody else been through a scenario exactly like this before? That was mine. I was like, well, you don't got any connections. You got nothing, Jesse. You got nothing. So go make some calls or go call for somebody else. And I'm like, man, what if I don't like cold calling? It's like, suck it up. That's what you got to do. And then you got to build a wholesaling business. And then once you start making money, then and only then can you take that money and start buying properties.
Bro, I remember when I was wholesaling, I would sit here at my desk and for like the first 20 minutes I'd just sit there and be like, and I'd make like 10 calls and then I would sit there and contemplate my life again.
Dude, I used to sit there for like 20 or 30 minutes. I remember the first time I ever got yelled at making a cold call. I got my ass torn up and I didn't call another seller for like 4 days afterward. I was like, nope, can't do it. That's not my bag, baby. And unbeknownst to me, like, I wish somebody would have said, hey, Jesse, you don't have to wholesale. And then I could have been like, yeah, but Jesse, if I don't wholesale, then I don't have any money to go buy properties. And then that person could have said, well, Jesse, you don't. What if you just go buy properties and then you just pay yourself the same thing you would have made or more on a wholesale fee? I mean, statistically, when you look at KPIs, it's like, well, 60% of wholesale deals, never make it to closing. And 90% of wholesale deals are shit. So what if you could just be the buyer on it? Because nobody knows your ability to perform like yourself. So if you can just put yourself in a situation where you're like, man, if I find a good deal, I can perform on that every single time. What a bet. Wouldn't you rather bet on yourself than bet on somebody else? I feel like that makes such a way better business model, and it's predictive.
Sorry, I just got excited. Pansy Sleep is in the comment, and
is she in the room next door?
She's in my backyard right now.
That's hilarious.
She's in my backyard.
Hi, Pansy. So, guys, this is what we're going to be talking about in Las Vegas. Everything that I just mentioned is what we're going to be talking about in Viva Las Vegas, baby, and more. We're going to have tons and tons and tons of fun. If you guys want more information about it, you can go to unleashandinvest.com. That is unleashandinvest.com. We have a $300. You guys can get $300 off by using what was the promo? Is it Brittany? Is that the promo? It's Nathaniel. Okay, you guys can get $300 off by using the promo Nathaniel. There it is. Promo Nathaniel. Get 300 bone skis off, guys. This is awesome. As I think this is capped. This is capped, by the way. And I think we probably have maybe 4 or 5 seats left, I think is all. So we've completely filled this. We've only got about 4 or 5 seats left. If you guys are contemplating on whether or not you want to fork out on this, I'm telling you right now, this is an opportunity. I state my reputation on it. This is something you cannot afford to miss. And you get to meet Nathaniel, and he will have his shirt off. Dude, I'm trying to get on the on that Nathaniel train, man. Speaking of which, Carlin, is there anything else that I'm missing? Anything else you want to add to this?
No, I'm just it's gonna be so much fun. It's gonna be so fun.
It's gonna be a good time. We just started a new cohort for our Growth Co mentorship, completely maxed it out. And this has been week 1. People have only been in this for 3 days. And already like huge mindset shift, huge perspective shift, huge reframe on how they're going to attack it and understanding what chess pieces they now need to have on the chessboard. They now have clarity already on day 3. Today's only been day 3. And they're already making 10x moves. And it is just the neatest thing in the world to see. If you guys want more information on our upcoming cohort, because seats are limited, we keep these things small on purpose. with that said, Carlin, anything else I'm missing before we bring on our guest for today?
Nope, I think that's it.
All right. Well, let's bring him on, guys.
I can't
Brittany!
do drumming. Oh, and you got a shirt off.
My man, let's go. Brittany and Nathaniel.
I'm freezing over here, so I'm going to put my shirt back on, but I just wanted to...
Oh, my gosh.
Brittany's over there like, whoa.
For those of you guys who don't know, Brittany and Nathaniel came through the last cohort in the mentorship. And there was always this awesome thing because Nathaniel was just always hot. We always just had his shirt off. And then it became this thing. And it was like, yes, it was the best thing in the world. So thank you at least for having it off. You know, everyone gets to see you shirtless in Vegas, though, right? I think it's going to be like 90 degrees.
As soon as I see you, it's getting ripped. Like buttons are flying.
You ever seen the movie Tommy Boy? He's like, brothers don't shake hands. Brothers got a hug. I love it. So we'll both take our shirts off and give hugs. I think that's it's a veteran thing to do. It would be weird being veterans if we didn't do that. Would you agree?
Yeah, that would be, yeah. As long as the underwear's on, we're good.
Love it, dude. Love it. Well, welcome. Thank you guys for making the time to be here. I know we've been trying to find a time to get you guys on here over the last couple of weeks. I'm glad we were finally able to do it. Yeah. How are you guys doing?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Excellent. Yeah.
Good. So you guys are kind of a celebrity couple here. You guys got like that Bonnie and Clyde, dynamic duo.
Don't put that on them.
No, what are you talking in a good way, man?
Bonnie and Clyde are not good people.
What do you mean they're not good people? You know what, Carlin? That's very judgmental, Carlin. There's probably pieces of their story that you just have not unearthed yet.
From the certain perspective, huh?
Yeah, I guess if I have my goals set high, I could get to that level. But you might be on your way. I don't know. I don't know what you guys do in your spare time. I do know you guys live in the woods. Yep. So.
True.
We're gonna keep everything legal over here. Don't worry about that.
What would your guys' celebrity name be? I'm usually pretty good with nicknames, and I spent the last I don't know, maybe 3 days or so on my off time just trying to figure out like what would Brittany and Nathaniel's kind of like Bradley or Brad what's his name? Yeah, Brangelina thing. Like I'm sitting here like Nathani.
It could be Natty.
Britannial.
Natney.
Oh. Britannial's not bad.
Britannial. It almost kind of sounds like a Three Musketeers type scenario,
I was thinking like an exotic cocktail, maybe.
Nathaniel. All hail Nathaniel. And then that's when you have the shirt comes off.
Oh yes, okay.
Yeah. All hail Nathaniel.
Breakaway. Yeah.
Got it.
I could see it.
Well, thank you guys for being on. For everybody who doesn't know who Nathaniel is, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you guys from? You guys living in the woods?
I'm gonna let Brittany do most of the talking here. She's got to jump off in like 10 minutes, and this is pushing her out of her comfort zone. So,
wow,
love it.
Okay, so we are originally from California, and decided that the California busy life wasn't for us, and we picked up and moved across the country, and. Right. We live in the woods with 2 little boys and a third on the way. Let's see what else. We've been doing real estate for like 8 years.
Wow. Okay. Now, how does the California, because when you not to get stereotypical here, but as soon as you see Nathaniel without his shirt on, it's like, oh boy, I know this guy is from Los Angeles.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
You need maybe we could bleach your hair or something,
Yeah, I'll give you a little.
So what was it about Los Angeles? You guys were both, or I put throughout Los Angeles. That's not, I don't even know if that's true or not. But
No.
in California,
Yeah.
What about you guys were raised there? And then now, Nathaniel, I know you are a veteran. You're a Marine. Once a Marine, always a Marine.
Hoorah.
So did you join the Marines from California, or did you guys move into the woods? Did you guys like where when you say into the woods, where is that even? I'm just sitting here thinking like in the sticks of Tennessee.
Oh, not too far. I mean, we're in South Carolina. We're right on the border of Georgia and South Carolina. So I like to tell, like, not everybody, but a lot of people know the Masters, like Augusta, Georgia. We're 25 minutes from there. We're literally exit 1 in South Carolina, off of 20.
How did you guys make the decision from California to Georgia / South Carolina? Like that's a pretty drastic jump, especially in like the cultural differences from California to the South.
Did you guys spin a globe? Do you have a globe and it's like wherever we land, or was it like, well, we could live in Alaska,
Darts on a map,
or hear me out here, we could move to South Carolina.
Yeah. Kind of. We actually made a stop in Oklahoma. We lived in Oklahoma for about 2.5 years first, which is like, basically we said, what is the complete opposite of California?
Oh, fair question.
And yeah, Oklahoma's pretty the complete opposite. And I wasn't fully ready to go from beach to snow. Like that's a really big shift.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't ready to just like make that transition overnight because we decided we were going to move. And 3 weeks later, we were packing a moving truck.
Wow.
And we were like, here we go.
This is pre-military.
No, post-military.
Post-military. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I think 3 weeks after we graduated college together, we were like, let's figure it out. Where are we going? Picked a place on a map, drove out, saw it, said, yep, we could do this. Found a place to rent, drove back home, packed a moving truck, and there we went. And so while we were in Oklahoma, I found a great engineering job. And they had a position open up here in South Carolina. Mm-hmm. And we originally had said we would stay in Oklahoma for about 2 to 5 years before we figured out what's next. And so when the position opened up and they asked me to help come kind of start it up, so I traveled out here a decent amount. And I brought him with me one time. And I said, what do you think about South Carolina? Do you want to move here? And so we did. About a month later.
She's leaving out too. She's leaving out that like 2 weeks, maybe a week and a half after we got to Oklahoma, I flew back to California because I had surgery on my nose. This is actually not my real nose. It used to be better looking than this. I had like I had a deviated septum, and they had to make it bigger and grow it out. So like, she was on her own in Oklahoma for like a week and a half. I think it was like a week or 2 after we got there, right?
Yeah.
So like, yeah. I took this little baby girl from everything she knew. We drove to Oklahoma. I left her in this. It was a dump. We actually called it the shithole. The house, and then disappeared for like a week and a half. Yeah. So, and Huxley just started screaming. Yay. This kid he doesn't ever scream during his naps, but I swear I've done 2 live podcasts of my own, and now this is the 3rd one live that we're doing, and he screamed for everyone.
Oh, that's lovely, dude. That's actually perfect. If you guys, if one of you guys need to like go grab him, like feel free. Like this is all part of it. You guys see anytime I'm on a Zoom or do a live, like my kids are in and out. My kid, like it's just part of living an integrated life, man. And it's neat to be able to showcase that to everybody. It's like, hey, we're all human. We're all, we got things that we're trying to do. And sometimes, especially as parents, these things happen, but that's okay. We still show up and we're integrating this. So,
yeah.
So
you've seen my post lately too. It talks about family first, and this is it, like family first.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'll touch on that one in a second. Jesse, Actually, no, I'll touch on that one now. Dude, your posts have me rolling lately. Like that one where it's like where we were going back and forth about Brittany laying on her bed with her pink pen. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, oh my gosh, she's so cute.
Yeah. You don't realize, but every post is like, this one's for Carlin.
That's what I figured. I was like, he did this for me.
Yeah.
I know it because it's about journaling and Brittany.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
I just see like Carlin sitting on her bed with her little feet up. Oh, James, he's so cute. Heart, heart, heart.
cute is not the word I'm writing, okay? That's not the word I chose. But
We're
it's
keeping a
pretty
PG over here.
No, we're not. We're keeping this Rex rated.
Oh.
So you guys go from Oklahoma to South Carolina, and your thought process is, well, it can't be any worse than Afghanistan. Let's give it a go.
That was she like, okay, go ahead. You go.
Yeah, the thought process was there's more trees. Oklahoma's really flat. There's more trees in South Carolina, and it's closer to mountains, right? There's like the Georgia mountains right here.
Sure.
There's mountains right in Tennessee. That's not that far away in North Carolina. And so it was a little bit more accessible to different places. So like the beach is 3 hours, Atlanta's 3 hours, the mountains are 3 hours. We kind of are kind of in the center of stuff, but like, and then we just picked, we found a really great real estate agent, and I said, here is my priorities. I want to live in the woods. I don't want an HOA or this or that. I want at least this much space, right?
Yep.
I think we said like a minimum of 1.5 acres. And I need to be within 30 minutes of this is my job. And he found it.
Dang, beautiful. Beautiful. Well, now, based on what you just told me, that same criteria applies, to Alaska. It's central to everything. You've got mountains, you've got trees, you've got beach, you've got lake. We got 3 million up here, as a matter of fact, Brittany. You got all the lakes you can go to a different lake every month if you wanted to. Russia is right down the road.
Throw rocks in Russia. You can get stomped by a moose.
Hop on your jet ski and head over to Hawaii if you wanted to. Just saying, just throwing that out there.
I am open to it. I'm open.
Perf.
I'm open, right? Like, get us on the wholesalers list. Let's buy a house there. Come visit. I love it.
I got you, fam. I've already got your house lined up. As a matter of fact, we'll talk offline.
Okay.
Sounds good. So you guys got to South Carolina. It was close to Brittany, your job. Now both of you guys are engineers. For those of you guys who don't know, like, how did that happen? Like, what are the mathematical statistics that something like that happens?
I guess we met in class, so pretty well.
Right. That's
Like we met
probably
in
the
school.
best answer I could have.
Yeah.
She sat in my seat.
Debunked right there.
All right. So, how do you guys transition? How do you go from you get out of the military, you guys move cross country, the opposite for everybody who's just tuning in, by the way, now that you guys know, if you didn't know before, the opposite of California is South Carolina.
In every sense.
Every sense.
It is.
And
we were just there, so it is. It is completely different. We got back home and I was like, I can breathe, and people are smiling, and there's no traffic, and there's green.
Look go outside with my cigarette in my mouth, my shotgun in the air, and my underwear.
That's it. Yeah.
Exactly.
How did you guys start teetering into real estate? How did you go from where you were as engineers? Like, what planted that bug? Like, for me, like I was sharing, like in high school, I read a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And then I eventually came back to it. But I'd love to hear a little bit more. Like, how were you guys raised knowing about money and real estate, or at least having some kind of foundational experience with it? Or like, when and how did that bug get planted? When you guys
it goes back to like 2012 with me. Like, I bought a condo in California that we lived in. She ended up moving in at the end of 2015, I believe. And when we moved to Oklahoma, it was like we didn't want to hindsight, I should have kept it, but we didn't want to keep that condo in California, and I knew that it had appreciated a lot, and I was going to be able, I was going to make money off of it. And I'm like, well, what am I going to do now? I knew I didn't want to be an engineer. You should probably get off, Brittany. He's pretty bad in there.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless you want me to
Have
get
fun.
off.
Whatever you want. No, you can stay.
Yeah.
You're more entertaining.
Sure. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So is Brittany going to hop back on? Go
I
take
don't
care of
think
him.
so. Yeah, she's gonna wake the kiddos up now.
You guys are seeing it live, man. This is awesome. This is what I love
He's
about
so-
entrepreneurship and parents and all that kind of stuff. I think a lot of people get the stigma of I've got to have it perfect, or I can't take this call or jump on the Zoom, or I can't do this podcast.
You can't hear him, but he is just in there
Aw.
screaming.
Dang it
Oh,
all.
Yeah, poor kid.
We love him.
He's not feeling the best, but he was supposed to wake up now anyway. Yeah, so we had intended, I had kind of always had this like real estate thing in my head, like maybe this is something that I can do. I think when I was young, it's funny enough, we were playing Monopoly, and my dad was like, "Hey, you're good at this. Like, you should do this for real." Okay, because that translates totally.
Nathaniel, have you ever thought to imagine real quick in that experience, that life experience
Holy
right there?
God.
Could you imagine where you would have been had you been playing Twister?
Exactly.
And your dad
Yeah.
was like, "Man,
Yeah.
you're good at this."
Yeah, I'd be a
We
gymnast.
could be having a completely different conversation right now, man.
Yeah, it totally
saying, thank
translates.
goodness
Like a
it
lot
was
of real
Monopoly.
estate is just roll of the dice, right? No, yeah. So we had bought like kind of the same criteria that we looked for this house. There was a house outside of Oklahoma City that we were really interested in. It was like 7 acres, just a standard kind of single family home, 3-bed, 2-bath, something like that. And literally like a week before we closed on it, she got that job that she was telling y'all about, and it was an hour and a half away. So we're like, crap, that doesn't really, like, I don't want you to have to drive an hour and a half each way each day, like, and go work 10 hours. She was working a 10-hour shift for this job, so she's going to be like 13 hours gone every day. That kind of sucks. So we ended up like going, okay, well, instead of taking this as our primary residence, we were buying it for cash anyway. Like, we'll buy it for cash. I'll refi this thing out and we'll use it as a rental. So that was our first like real rental we had outside of Oklahoma City, and it did pretty well. I wish I had kept it, but when we moved to South Carolina, we decided to sell it. And then like I did a bunch of odd jobs. I think I like valeted, I worked at UPS, I worked at like a bus depot cleaning buses. I just to kind of like make a little bit of extra money, kind of bring in some stuff, and also keep myself busy, because up until joining Sub 2, I guess like 2020, I was treating real estate kind of like a hobby. Like, I'll send out some mailers, and if people respond, I'll talk to them and see what I can do. That kind of thing. I did direct mail, I did SEO, which we still have a really good ranking website. But I guess, does that kind of answer the question?
Yeah.
I don't know how far you want me to go here.
No, you're good, dude. So you guys bought this house. It wasn't really conducive to how you guys wanted to live your life, basically. So you decided to go ahead and rent that out. And at what point did you decide to take this on more than just a hobby? At what point, like what was, I want to know, like, what was it that went through your head where you intentionally were like, wait a minute, what if we just went all in on this one thing? How would that change how we want to live and build our lives? Like, I want to know what that pivot was for you.
I think it was really when Harland, our oldest, he's 3 years old, was born. Like, oh man, I got another creature here that needs my, needs me to support them. And and seeing Brittany get up in the morning and go to work after, like, 3 months, 2 months, or whatever after he was born, like, now I have this kid here and mom's gone. Like, that kind of blows. So I had to figure some stuff out, and that's kind of when I joined a couple other mentorships before joining Sub 2. Like, just I was searching for something, some sort of guidance, like kind of the Growth Code provides a blueprint, so to speak, that like, just follow this thing. I know how to take action. I just didn't really know what actions to take.
Sure.
you know, when I joined Sub 2, it was like, go, like you're just saying before having us on, like, go hire a VA, like have them cold call, answer the phones, you know, follow up with sellers. And we did all right. We had some moderate success, but it wasn't getting us towards the reason we got into real estate in the first place, which was to buy houses and to, you know, create a retirement for ourselves and, like, you know, generational wealth, and also just showing our kids and our family and everything, like, you can do this. You know.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's kind of, I mean, that's kind of it in a nutshell.
Okay. And did both of you decide to go in on this at the same time?
No, she was still working
Mhm.
at BAE. They're like a defense contractor, so she was a project manager there for a year and a half, 2 years after Harland was born.
Mhm.
Oh, no, like a year and a half, yeah, because
Yeah.
when it was coming up on our second, you know, delivery date, we knew that she wanted to quit, and well, maybe I shouldn't be saying this out loud. They're not watching. Yeah, we kind of knew that she wanted to not go back after he was born, and she was going to join the company, you know, the real estate company. And
Mhm.
it was about 6 months after she had quit. We were still wholesaling, and we're like, wait, you quit with the intention of coming and joining our company, and there's nothing for you to really do. Like, she doesn't want to be on the phone. I kind of mentioned it at the top of this. Like, this is pushing her out of her comfort zone, being here on camera. Like, this is not her thing. She's an integrator. Like, she's the engineer at heart. And so, like, a wholesaling operation, you got to be on the phones, right? You're either talking to sellers or you're talking to buyers, or you're not making money.
Mhm.
There is an integrator to a certain extent, but, you know, when you got a VA and the VA company's handling a lot of the integrator stuff, like, she was feeling like a secretary. And so
Sure.
it was about midway through last year, 2023, that we said, well, what could we do that makes sense for you to be more part of this group? And we had come in contact with Creighton Bertrand through Sub 2, and
Such a lovely guy.
yeah, amazing.
So
we
nice.
yeah, we made a lot of inward, like, introspective kind of changes based on his is more of like a personal coaching kind
Mhm.
of thing. And so we took stock in what we wanted to do, and, like, okay, we can, instead of wholesaling so much, we're gonna slow that down and start flipping. And so we did that, and again had some success with that. But every house that we sold was like, like, we did all this work to find the house. We did all this work to rehab the house, and then we're just going to sell it. And, like, yeah, we're going to make a pop of cash, but again, it's not getting us to where we're trying to go,
Mhm.
long term. So I had met Carlin early on in Sub 2, and she was guest 3 or something like that on my podcast. And then I had Shane, James Ziegler, Jeff McGrew. I feel like there was and I had Zach Bush on as well, like, people that are either part of the Growth Co. or have been through the Growth Co. And we knew that we wanted to get into another, we knew we wanted to spend money, I guess, on ourselves coming into the new year. And it was just like, it just clicked. Like, well, I've made all these friends inside and in the Growth Co. Like, maybe this is it. And we got very fortunate that I think we joined a really good one. It seemed like maybe it was a little bit pivot, and maybe isn't the right word, but in what you guys are doing and going forward with. And like, we had a couple really fun people as cohort members as well. Dan Grove, shout out. Clay, shout out. My accountability group, my accountability partner, Jacob DeBach, who you might have worked out with this morning, and I haven't heard from yet. If you're listening,
I did work out with him this morning.
He's quite the debacle. It's okay.
Yeah, the debacle. Yeah.
Let me ask you really quick, and thank you for saying that. I really appreciate that. It means the world. What's the biggest, having gone through the cohort, like, what is the biggest, I don't know if mindset shifts is the right word, but just the way that you think about yourself, your time, opportunity, versus how not only you used to do it, but how you see everybody else waking up and how they are building and working on their businesses. Like, having gone through it, what was the biggest, like, wow, I can't believe I used to waste my time doing this? Like, talk about taking the path of least resistance, doing more while working less. Like, what's one thing? Like, I know that's a loaded question. I totally understand that.
Yeah.
Like, what's one thing you think everybody should know?
I'm gonna have a really hard time narrowing it down to one, so I'm gonna give maybe like 3 to 5. If that's cool.
Of course, yeah.
Like
Go for it.
if you're talking about bringing in other people into your business, I think like hiring from the top down was the biggest starting kind of shift. You know, especially like I talked about when you come into sub 2, you're like, you know, hire a VA, hire a cold caller, hire an acquisitions, you know, a follow-up manager, a lead manager. Like all these people are you're starting from the bottom up, and where we went is like you're hiring an operations manager who's going to be working like, I don't even want to say below us really. They're working like just kind of catty corner to us, kitty corner, whatever. And in that process, like we had, okay, wait, let me go back one more. Creating this huge vision and like really nailing down this vision and where we're going at the 6, 12 month, 3 year, 5 year, 10-year kind of plans. And that I'm tying that into the operations manager is, you know, once we had this clear vision, we were able to bring this person in and show them our vision and how our goals align with what their goals. So like, I think you maybe use it as an umbrella. Like our freaking goals have to be so big. Like it has to be this huge umbrella that it's able to fit all these other people's goals in underneath it. So, you know, that kind of, those kind of two, I think like, you know, we had been doing all right with like time blocking to a certain extent and like goal setting, but we really dove in.
Dip, dive, duck, and dodge.
Yeah. Got really nitty gritty into setting goals, and like the goal isn't the goal, it's the actions that you put in place that are the goal. So like, you know, you use the analogy of like two people want to lose 20 pounds. One says, I just want to lose 20 pounds. And the other one says, I want to walk 20 minutes a day. Which one's going to actually lose the 20 pounds? You know, that's a big mindset shift for me is like, you know, we want to get to 50,000 net cash flow a month by the end of the year. Well, what are the actions that I got to put in place as the CEO, as the lighthouse for this company that's going to actually get us there? And that's going to, you know, empower my operations manager who we brought on to be successful and do what she does best. And then like kind of going back to the operations manager, this is, I don't know, 4 or 5 now at this point, but it was a mindset shift for me bringing in somebody and going from like, oh man, this person relies on me now. It was like kind of stressful at the beginning, but like changing it from like it being stressful that I get the opportunity for this person to, you know, provide for their family. Cause like, I think it was Kevin's show. We talked about it before. Like, you know, I know that I'm going to show up every single day and I'm going to put the work in, and I would much rather her be working with me than working with somebody else that I don't know that's going to put the work in, you know? So like just shifting your mind to, I get to do these opportunities rather than I have to, like, I think was a big one too. So, yeah. And then I could probably continue going on for another 20 minutes if you want, but
no, you're good, man. Thank you.
I'm feeling comfortable with my shirt off. Yeah.
No, thank you for sharing that, man. How do you spend your time differently?
Yeah, I'm networking a lot more than I would have otherwise, and having a little bit more kind of higher level servitude type conversations. Whereas, and I still struggle with it, and it's still something that I'm working on. You know, I just want to talk about me and what I want to do, but making it more about the other person that I'm having a conversation with. You know, what are your goals? What are you struggling with? What are the needs that you have inside your business right now? And how I can best serve you and make your business grow as well.
It's a completely different reframe, dude, because we as humans just have this inherent want to just talk about ourselves.
Yeah.
And whether you're talking to, and actually I've got a Zoom that I'm doing later today on how to network with private money lenders. And it's all kind of based on that frame that you just put out there. Like when people jump on a call with somebody, what they end up doing is they end up talking about themselves and what they have going on and everything that they're doing. And then this other person's like, in their head, they're like, oh my gosh, this guy's like doing all these things. I got to tell him what I've got going on. And then you, like, a lot of people think that in that way that they're being productive, that you're sharing your information and this person's sharing this information, but it's not. It's you're wasting so much freaking time. If Nathaniel and I were networking, I know Nathaniel would be looking to understand my business and what I'm doing. Nathaniel and I, if we were going to hop into a Zoom for the first time, Nathaniel, for the most part, is probably not even going to talk about himself because he wants to understand what I have going on and what I'm doing so that he can figure out, okay, so this is what Jesse's doing. This is where he's trying to go. This is what his goals are. Okay, so there's some alignment there. And now, Jesse, let me ask you, what are some of the bottlenecks that you're going through right now? Got it. And he's taken note of all these things. So he's able to, his goals are on this chessboard. And he's trying to get from one side of the chessboard to the other side of the chessboard. And right now, by him asking all of these questions, he's figuring out strategically what moves he's going to make on this chessboard and if Jesse is a chess piece on his chessboard or not. But if he and I are going to talk for 30 minutes and he spends 15, 20 minutes talking about himself, he just lost a major opportunity to figure out whether or not there's any sort of collaboration or ways to create these win-win situations. And I'm just using Nathaniel as an example. I would be doing the exact same thing. For anybody who's ever networked with me, you already know. I'm asking you all these questions. I'm trying to make it all about you. One, because I genuinely care and I want to leave a good impression. But also, I can't help you. I can't be of service to you if I don't understand what it is that you're going through. I don't understand what your goals are. I don't understand what the obstacles are. I don't understand what the needs and wants of your business are. But if I have a little bit of clarity on what that is, then I'm going to learn so much more as opposed to whether or not, if I was spending my entire time talking about myself. By me talking about myself, by Nathaniel talking about himself, by you guys talking about yourselves, you're not learning anything.
Right.
You're not giving yourself any kind of a leg up. So, Nathaniel, you've changed how you're networking. What are you guys working on right now? You went from wholesaling, you came through the Growth Co. You guys are just buying properties now. You're paying yourself to buy properties. You brought on an operations manager. Tell me a little bit about your guys' day-to-day. Like, how has that changed where you are now, what you're doing now versus what you used to be doing, and what a lot of people that are listening right now or will be listening in the future, they may be doing right now what you used to be doing. What type of advice would you have for those individuals?
Yeah, man, like I'm doing a lot more like thinking and game planning and things like that on ways that I can bring opportunities to me rather than going and kind of seeking each opportunity out. And I am doing still some of that. That's something we'll talk about off thing, because I am still doing a lot of like really direct kind of individual conversation stuff, just because I'm trying to bring in more opportunities into our like immediate opportunities into our inbox right now. But thinking about ways that I can go out there and reach 100 people rather than one or two at the same time, and putting together podcasts and Zooms and things like that where I can serve people and create a community of my own kind of thing. So like I wouldn't be journaling at all probably the way I am without the Carlin. And like the journaling and putting things on paper and is creating the wheels of like thought and process in my head that are generating a lot of these ideas that I have, going forward. I lost my train of thought a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
No, you're good, dude. This is great, man. You're thinking more. You're thinking strategic.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. So sorry.
No,
I recaught it. Like you told me the story before we joined. You told it during the cohort at one time, and maybe even afterwards, of the Alex Hormozy kind of story. And if you followed Jesse at this point, you've probably heard him say it. But we think about these, like, what do I do? What can I do today? Like, what is the sending out a flyer today, rather than what are the systems and processes that I can be putting in so I can send out 100, in so many days. So while I'm doing the nitty gritty stuff kind of to bring in immediate opportunities right now, I'm still building the machine up that's going to bring in the, hundreds of opportunities, 30 to 60, 90, 100 days from now. So like, yeah, that was kind of where I was going with that. Yeah.
I like that, dude.
Yeah.
So metaphorically speaking, like, instead of creating a business where you're putting 10 flyers out a day, you're creating something where you're going to be doing 5,000 flyers a day.
Right.
And I want to, this is such an important piece to that, because a lot of people think in order to do that. Now, guys, this, if you guys don't know what we're talking about, we'll share that in another story. It's kind of a longer story. We'll share that in another Zoom or another live. But what Nathaniel's talking about right now is he's taking the things that he used to do, the habits and the way that he used to spend his time, is focused on $5,000 to $10,000 a month opportunities. And a lot of people start there because they think that that's where they have to start. They set goals based on their current abilities and say, well, I don't know how to do this big thing. I don't know how to go make $100,000 a month. So I'm going to start off making $5,000 to $10,000 a month. And then once I figure that out, then I'll scale that to 20 grand a month, and then 40, and then 60, and then 80, and then 100. And then, and only then, can I take that money, then start going and buying properties. Whereas when Nathaniel's talking about, instead of just doing that, he's focused on solving the $100,000 a month opportunities right now. And you can go from here to here. And the one thing I want to make sure that we point out, and I would love for you to either confirm this or say, Jesse, no, you're a liar. Does it take the same amount of time, energy, and effort to put 10 flyers out as it does to generate something that puts 5,000 flyers out a day? And metaphorically speaking here, guys, it's the same thing as making $5,000 to $10,000 a month versus $100,000 a month. You're just working and spending your time a little bit differently, would you say? Or what are your thoughts on that?
I could almost say it takes less time.
It takes less time.
Almost.
I was not expecting that. Okay. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I am working longer hours at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I'm getting up earlier and doing things that are setting myself for the day up. I'm working later, again, working. Well, no, it's not quoted. It's a work. That is setting myself up for the next day. But like, my active time during the day has actually gone down a little bit because I'm working a little bit more strategically, right? Where I was spending 5 or 6 hours just during the bulk of the day on the phones talking to sellers and talking to buyers. Now I'm doing like 3 to 4 hours where I'm like talking to lenders, talking to other wholesalers, doing these kind of networking activities, trying to be the lighthouse to bring people in, going on podcasts and creating podcasts and Zooms of my own. So yeah, while my days have gotten longer, the actual like honed in kind of time where I'm on the phones has actually not dramatically, but it's decreased for sure. So
Absolutely.
To answer your question, yeah, I mean, it's at the very most, it's the same amount of work, like the same amount of time you're putting in a day. I'm just doing things differently. Like it's the strategic planning and like kind of thinking things from a higher level, like you said, not $5,000 a month mind frame. Like, how do I get to $1 million a month? This one is just here playing with my fan here.
I actually want to dive a little bit deeper on the same topic, but kind of in a different sense. So when you're spending like 6, 7, 8 hours a day on the phone with sellers versus spending 4 or 5 hours a day on the phone with like PMLs, wholesalers bringing you deals, doing different things like that, there's a different feeling when it comes to fulfillment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can you talk a little bit about how that's made a different pivot in like your overall not self-worth, I don't want to say self-worth, but like that internal feeling? Like, have you noticed a change in any sort of like internal,
Like get that intrinsic value, like increasing
thank
that.
you, yes, thank you.
I don't know if I would. Yeah, I think that a lot of my like, oh, I won today previously was, did I get a deal, or did I like have a good conversation with a seller or something like that, or dispo a deal. Now it's just like, did I make any connections today? Did I put any pieces in place? Sometimes it's like, just did I have quality time with the kiddos, right? That are the win for the day. And one thing that we did, was just writing down 5 wins for the day in your journal. And like some days you have a crummy day and the win is just like, I made the bed today. And being able to reframe that thinking from, did I get a deal today, or did I like have a good conversation that might get a deal today, to where just like, did I make a connection with somebody today? Like, or did I just like, did I game plan for something in the future? Did I like spend time out? Like, it's raining right now, but did I spend time out on the trampoline with the kids today? Like, yeah, it's I don't know if that's answering your question necessarily, but no.
Yes and no. Like, yes and no. I'm not gonna, and
Yeah.
like, because to me, I mean, when you and I were on the podcast together, I remember just the look on your face where you're like, oh, the script's out the window, kids everywhere.
Yeah.
We're gonna. All right.
Yeah.
So I understand what you mean. Where like, for me personally, when I was wholesaling, at the end of the day, I'd just be like burnt. Like,
Yeah.
this is today was not as productive as I want. I didn't make any money. I got yelled at by 60 old people and a dog. Like,
I spent
versus
4 out of 6 hours listening to the ringtone.
yeah.
Yeah, that's burnout.
The least anybody could do is bring back the ringbacks. Make cold calling fun again.
There we go. Next
Hey,
motto.
where are you?
Yeah. So I do see a lot of merit in what you're saying, because having the opportunity to be like, yeah, I went outside and I jumped on the trampoline. We've got a trampoline, so that's a huge win. When I go outside with my kids, for me, it's a personal satisfaction, because when I was wholesaling and cold calling and doing all this stuff, it was wake up, get the kids to school, spend the next 8 hours on the phone, pick the kids up from school, go back to being on the phone, make them dinner, go back to being on the phone. And so there wasn't
I can
much
hear him in
like
the other room.
so yes, it did answer my question.
Yeah.
I was curious to know if you've noticed a shift in like your internal feel goods, I guess.
I would say, yeah. I mean, yes. Like, I talked to somebody just before this, and I worked a lot. Well, we just got back from California, and I like worked a lot while we were there, more than I have ever worked on a trip there before, but felt like I also spent more time with the family as well, because I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning every day, and I was getting, we were in California, so I was able to do things on the East Coast. I set up calls for myself at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, making posts and things like that, talking to people on Facebook, just doing things that are attracting opportunities to us. And then by 11 o'clock California time, like, I had already done 6 hours of work. Right. And so I was able to go, okay, I'm done I'll answer texts and like respond to people later on as we have family lulls throughout the day. But like, now I can just be focused on being here with the family. And like, I'm translating that a little bit to here as well. Now we're 3 hours back, the time difference now, but how do I keep that kind of same mentality here? I know Jesse is like, in Alaska, so he's like crazy early for people, so he's able to get up and do that every day, and I'm a little jealous of that, because being able to be done at like noon, so to speak, on the day, like, all right, everybody on the East Coast is done, I'm gonna be done too. Like,
Dude, it's dope, man. It's
Yeah.
nice. You get up at 3 at 7 a.m. on the East Coast, so you can get right to work and start doing things. And then around 5:30, 6 o'clock, like everybody's like 10 o'clock on the East Coast, everybody's already in bed, man. You know,
I know during our cohort, it was like 10:15. We're like, oh my gosh, I got to start turning the lights off on Jesse here. And you're just like, yeah, it's dinner time. Yeah.
Let me ask you something real quick as we're kind of wrapping up here. I want to get your thoughts on this. This is one of my favorite. I don't even know where this quote is from, or I don't even know where I heard it. Maybe I don't even know if it is a quote. I'm sure it probably is. But the most expensive thing that we pay for is the information we don't know. What does that mean to you?
I mean, from a person that like is constantly trying to educate, like it means that you should always be trying to go out and learn something new, because what you don't know is a missed opportunity for yourself. And kind of like from what's the cost benefit? No. Yeah. Opportunity costs.
Mm-hmm.
So like, we looked at joining the cohort as, the money that we're going to spend on this, what is the missed opportunity? What are we losing out by not spending the money on this? And that's how we looked at since, a couple years ago when we started spending money on further education, is like, by not spending $1,000, $5,000, $100,000 on joining these masterminds or joining these, mentorships, are we missing out on millions of dollars by not doing that? So like, I forget how you quoted it, but not having the education in place is kind of losing us on the opportunities out there. So being around people like, yourself, Pace Morby, other people that are chapters ahead and know more things ahead of us, then it allows us to go out and do bigger and better things. It allows us to spend more quality time with our family, right? And go travel. Like, all of our family for the most part lives in California. So like, one of our big whys of why we want to get to this, big goal is so we can go there more often and not have to fly freaking coach on Southwest. Cause
dude, can I tell you a secret, bro? I have left Alaska, I think twice, 2 or 3 times is all in the last 6 years. I've only left the state 2 or 3 times. That's it. And so this will be the 3rd or 4th time leaving Alaska, going to Las Vegas. I haven't seen another soul in years. And so I'm pretty excited. And you know what? This will be the first time I have ever, even when I was in the military, dude, 15 years, man, never got bumped up to first class. So I splurged on myself. I was like, dude, all I know is coach, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited. I was like, dude, this will be great. I have a feeling. You ever seen the movie The Wedding Singer with Adam Sandler?
Yeah.
He hits on the plane. He's sitting up in first class, and he's like, I've never flown first class before. And they hand him a hot towel to like wipe his face, and he like puts it in his shirt like a napkin or something. Like, I feel like I'm gonna have that type of experience, man. Hot towel. Yep.
I
So
was
I'm pretty
really
excited
hoping for
that,
first class that they were going to bring me a hot towel, because I was going to like wipe my feet with it. Like, oh, I don't know what to do with it. They didn't. Alas, they did not.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll keep you in the loop, man.
Yeah. Awesome.
Dude, this is awesome, man. Well, thank you so much. I know Brittany is in the other room listening, but would love to have you guys on another time. We'll have to do the second one interview with both of our shirts off. Maybe we'll have like a necktie or so. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna be officiating a wedding in August. Maybe I'll get like the priest thing, the priest collar with a shirt off. Maybe you can do something else. I don't know. We'll figure something out. We'll coordinate something.
Yeah.
Do what?
Coordinate like Growth Co emblems on it.
That's what we'll do. I'm gonna get your face tatted on my left neck.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jesse's first tattoo will be Nathaniel's face.
Yeah, eating a tub of ice cream while watching interviews for the ops manager.
Oh, that'd be so good, man.
Yeah.
Well, what are you and Brittany? What do you guys need right now? What is it you're looking for? How can people work out or work with you guys?
I mean, we need creative deals pretty much anywhere in the country. Like we're looking heavily at creative, buying creative real estate to hold as short-term, mid-term, co-living, like kind of all the exit strategies and private money partners. Like if you're looking to get into real estate deals with somebody that's, operating short-term, mid-term co-living spaces and want to get a return and also get some equity, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for people that we can kind of partner up with, create like long-lasting relationships where we can go out and do many deals together.
I love that. Thank you. You guys, you can't afford to not reach out to Brittany and Nathaniel. As somebody, as two amazing individuals. I mean, they're both engineers. They're both hot people. You guys can't afford to not be reaching out to these guys. Give them the opportunity to find out what you have going on and where you guys can create opportunity together, where you guys can make money together. Especially if some of you guys are wanting to figure out how can I buy properties with these guys? How can I start being of service and problem solving maybe some of these bottlenecks and figure out where you can collaborate together? You can't afford to not be reaching out with these guys. Yeah. I see you got your website.
I was going to plug it
right
there
above you, dude.
Yeah, I'm also starting so if you're like kind of getting started at wholesaling or you have deals that you want to bring, I'm starting a Zoom. It's going to start on Thursdays, noon Eastern time. Go to this website here and you can kind of connect with me and I can get you the details on that. So like, if you have questions, if you want to come in and role play, things like that. I mean, I'm here to kind of help however I can. You've heard my story at this point. I don't know everything by any means, but I know some things.
Damn. Are you going to have your shirt off for these Zooms?
If it's requested.
Okay. All right, cool.
Requested.
People can go visit the website, maybe put a request in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
I'll put a shirtless or no shirtless poll.
Yeah, there we go.
I'll be like the prereq before anything. You got to cast your vote.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want to connect with me, you have to decide yes or no on the shirt.
All right. Love that, guys. Well, you guys go visit Nathaniel Hovsepian at...
No, that's it.
.com. It's I always get so used to putting like the emails in there, but it's not at. It's just .com.
Yep. You'll find everything you need there. Bam.
You'll find everything you need there. Maybe even some feet pics if you're lucky.
Oh, boy.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you, guys. Brittany, love you guys. Thank you guys for jumping on. This was absolutely amazing. I hope everybody has an amazing rest of your day. Go connect with Nathaniel. Go visit his website. Go see what he has going on. You guys can connect with him through there. You guys have an amazing Friday. Have a great weekend, and we will see you guys next week.